If you've never tried a Flatlock overlock stitch on the BERNINA L890, I'm going to show you how you can cheat really fast and experience this on your own. So if you are doing that SERGER stitch book we talked about in the first couple videos, this will allow you to not really have to deviate too much, and it'll let you try it for the first time. And if you haven't done this on a SERGER that has such the easy features, you're going to love it. So here's what we're going to do. First, go to the stitches, touch the overlock, and you're going to find that there are stitch number 5 and 6 are the 3-thread Flatlock wide. Now, if you want to cheat, you do need to click and select the number 5 stitch, the 3-thread wide one. And since I do have a little heavier fabric, I would want a wide Flatlock stitch anyway, just to get the better results. So I am in the expert mode, and if you've been following along, these symbols are starting to become a little bit more familiar with you. So let's just walk you through. Foot that we need on is C11. That's the standard universal foot that we've been using. Your blade is engaged. Our cutting width is at 6. That's the one right below here. Everything is kind of back to a normal setting. Nothing too crazy, except it wants you to use just the left needle. So here's how I'm going to tell you can cheat. If you just clip the thread going into the right needle, so that is my green one that I'm actually removing. And yes, remember, take the spool off the machine, but I am going to let you, now normally if I was doing this, you're going to need to remove that inside needle. But let me show you why this is acceptable, because all it's going to do is make a needle hole and really not interfere with the way the stitch is going to form. So let's touch the green check mark, and we're ready to stitch this stitch. Now, depending on your fabric, you still might adjust your cutting width just a little bit, but let me show you what you're looking for. You do see that the yellow stitch is very loose. So as we look at the screen and my result, the reason the yellow tension is so low, see how it's at 2? That's what changed when you selected this stitch. That's so when you open this up, the whole thing lays flat. It's actually very satisfying to do a Flatlock because as you open it, you can see that it just lays completely flat. Now, here's the other thing. If you do your fabric right sides together, you get one result. If you do them wrong sides together, you get a different result. So another result is where your side that's going to show is kind of this ladder stitch. Whatever's in your needle is the color this stitch will be. So of course we have yellow. That is the stitch that we're going to see. Now, what makes a difference between a wide and a narrow? Well, number one, it's not going to be so wide. So that's why if I did the narrow one on this kind of thicker fabric, it would probably leave a little bit of a ridge in here just because it doesn't have as much room to hinge as it does with the wider Flatlock. So where would you actually use a Flatlock? So there's any time that you want to have something like added to an edge, like you're adding a piece of lace to the edge of fabric, that would be a great time to do a Flatlock and then just pull it flat. So you're able to just open that door and it just lays perfectly. You could also use decorative threads in a Flatlock. So you're putting decorative threads in the upper looper if you want it really big and chunky and show, or a variegated thread, it looks fun there. You can't do too much on the thickness of thread when you want this side to show with the ladders, but I have been known to put a top stitch needle in and then use some of like a really heavy, like a 30 weight quilting thread in my needle, and then it has a much bolder finish. So depending on what your look is that you're after, but I just love that you can piece pieces together. You could do a log cabin quilt this way. You can do a lot of things with just a Flatlock. So I hope you'll give it a try. Remember those Craftsy classes that we recommend that are SERGER focused? Those links are in the description below, and they have great projects. Those are project SERGER classes that will have you using all the stitches in your beautiful L890 BERNINA SERGER and using every part of this machine for some fun patterns that you might not have thought of doing on your SERGER. So I hope you'll check out all the links below, plus the complete playlist that you're seeing right here. You can then binge watch all these videos from the beginning and learn this machine inside and out.